It's your girl Barbie J here, and I am reviewing something new. I am reviewing Power Book 3 Raising Kanan. Now, you guys told me, a few of y'all told me that if I did the review, you would watch it. Okay, so I am doing this review, and another reason I'm doing a review and I'm being biased here because I did some background work on this show, and I remember 2 days of background work, and I was in a church. So it's coming up in one of those episodes, 8 or 9 or 10, but it's coming up, and I hope everybody's going to watch. Anyway, now we are getting on season 1 here. Back season 1, episode 1, back in the day, the Power Universe. I said, yo, that sign came up and said Power Universe. I said, all right now, all right, it's like superheroes, you like Marvel or something, because they got all these doggone spin-offs. They got Power, they got Ghost, they got Power Book 2, 3, 4, 5, they got BMF, they got all this stuff happening. I said, all right now, come on. And I ain't mad at you, 50 Curtis Jackson, if you're nasty. That's right. Anyway, so it started off, it's being narrated by the older Kanan, and we know what happened to him in Power. He was killed off. So Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent is on the narration, older Kanan. And did I say, if you haven't subscribed, please take a moment and subscribe now before we get into this. Please subscribe right now. Hit that little subscribe button, and you can hit the notification bell so it will let you know every time Barbie J uploads a new video. So always remember, like, comment, share, subscribe. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you. Okay, so it started off in 1985 when little Kanan is getting beat up in the park and stuff. These two boys are jacking him up, and the little girl is being held back. Hey, get off him! And then we find out that's Jukebox, and she's his little ride or die cousin. They so close. They like almost like brothers and sisters. That's how close they are, because I think they're together every day. And so she's being held back by this other boy, and she's trying to get loose. And a little what I did notice though, as Kanan was getting beat up, every time he got knocked down, he got back up. He got knocked down, he got back up. He had a little heart in him, and I think he was 10 at that time or something. I don't know. So then he ran all the way home, and Jukebox was yelling, "Get back here! Come back here!" And what I'm realizing from the narration from Kanan, Big Kanan, running home is like the worst thing that you can do. Basically, you're losing in the streets. You're losing your street respect. So you can't do that. So he gets in the house, and he sees his mom and her boyfriend. His mom is Raquel, and her boyfriend is what's his name? High Post. They in there doing something at the table. It looked like they was like rolling, breaking and counting money, and I don't know. Anyway, so he runs upstairs, and she's like, "What's up?" He didn't say anything, and High Post is like, look like he got in a little tussle in the park. So she goes up there and said, "What's up? They took my money. Why they take your money? How'd they know you had that money? You showed them the money?" "I know, I ain't showed them." "How they know? Did you say something?" "They bigger than me." "Did you say something?" He must have mouthed and told them that he had money. So she said, "You gave your money away. Opening your big mouth. You shouldn't have said nothing." So she's talking to him. He's like, "But they bigger than me." So she putting rocks in the sock. And she said, "Boy, we going back out there to the park." And he was like, "What?" "Not rocks. I'm sorry, batteries. Remember back in the day with the batteries in the sock?" So she weighted that thing down. She had about 5 batteries in there. It looked like D batteries. Let's get it straight. It wasn't no triple A's. And so she put in a knot, and she said, "Come on, get them in the car." Those the boys she drove over there and sent him over there. "Go get your damn money." She told him. I was like, oh, here we go. She said, "You might as well deal with them, because you could deal with them or deal with me, and ain't no place to run from me." I said, oh, gangster mama. So it seems like he's from Kanan's from a drug running family. They hustlers or something like that. And the mom seems to be the queen pin. So, and I noticed that he has about 2 uncles. His mother has an older brother and a younger brother, and they're both in the business as well. So He goes back to the park and beats the devil out of them damn boys. I tell you, they were beating them up. I mean, one of them got hit 2 times and was knocked out. The other one, he was whipping on him like about 5. I was like, oh my God, he gonna kill that little boy. And his mom is standing there smoking a cigarette like, that's my baby. That's my baby. You do just like I said, else I'm gonna whip your ass when you get back home. I tell you, I was like, oh, I'm liking this show, and that's a damn shame. The first 5 minutes, I'm up here into it, and she was making sure she taught her son how to be tough in the streets. I'm sure that's what it was, and I found out that her boyfriend High Post is the one who got her in the game. So it flashes to 1991. So now he's 15 years old, and he's at Queens Arts of Science High School, which actually is the old Jamaica High School. Now, those of you from New York would know about the Jamaica High School. That's the old Jamaica High School building that has still been up because it's a landmark. Obviously, it's a landmark. I had 2 sisters who went to that school. So it was a pretty good high school where we lived far from it, almost an hour and a half by train. But anyway, so the principal is telling the mother, Raquel, that her son is very brilliant, and she's telling him about this state of the art school, high school called Stuyvesant. It got a pool and 5 gyms and 12 science labs and escalators and $150 million building. I was like, whoa. And to be honest, y'all, that school is all that. If you could get into Stuyvesant, you saying something today in New York City. I'm telling you. So Kanan isn't thrilled about his mom, but his mom is, she wants him to go to college. She got these plans. Go to college, get a degree, and become a CEO in some Fortune 500 company and all this stuff. And he said, but I'll be away from you. And she said, look, your life is my life. You fly, I fly. She said, you're about to live the life that most people only dream of. She knew that getting him in that school would be the best thing for him, but he wasn't interested. So Kanan has this crush, we find out, on Davina Harris since 2nd grade. Since 2nd grade. And he hasn't made a move yet. And Jukebox said maybe he need to leave that alone. He said they ain't gonna never happen. But Davina's dating Buck 20, who is in the game as well. And he works for this guy called Unique. So he sits with his crew. What's his name? Kanan goes sit with his crew, and Famous is spitting some rhymes, and what is his name? His friend D Wiz is doing the beatboxing, doing the beat and stuff, and they just having a good time in school and everything. And it moves on to the hospital. Raquel, while she was at the school with Kanan, got a call from that one of her runners or something was in the hospital, and she shows up with her younger brother, who's Lulu, and then later on come her older brother Marvin, who Marvin was supposed to be with this guy who got shot, and Marvin always eating. He always eating. That's what he does. He's funny. And Marvin is Jukebox's father, and the reason she has the name Jukebox is because she can sing wonderfully. She sings. She's an awesome singer. So anyway, so Kanan needs to take that test. They said he needs to take a test. The principal has already sent in some of his paperwork. Needed Raquel to sign a couple of more things. And he just needs a test to go to Stuyvesant. And she said, I'm sure it won't be a problem. We don't have time to train you or something, but I'm sure with the grades you get that, it won't be a problem. But he doesn't. He wants to be in the streets like his mom's, and he stays focused more in her business, learning how to understand when they're talking in code around him, because he found out what they were saying. So Raquel and Lulu go into a club, okay? And Lulu, the younger brother, is like his mom's, Raquel's like right-hand man, okay? So if there's anything that needs to get done, Lulu will do it, okay? So they go into the club to do business with the owner, and he's not there. And this white lady said, he's taking a mental health day, and he can't, anything you have to say to me. She said, well, we need to talk to him. Well, I'm his new publicist, and I'm who you talk to now. I'm sitting there going, the publicist? This when the publicist is the one to do all the business. I don't know. And they were like, that's not how we do business. And she looked at them. She said, oh, I know who you are. You're the drug dealers who sell that ghetto shit. Your blow is all stepped on and it's dirty, she said, and it's a bad look from the club. We won't be using that anymore. We'll be using my from my distributor. I was like, what? And Raquel said, the hell you will. I bet you won't. And she was like, who do you think you talk? She said, you bitch. Don't be calling me no bitch. I'm not one of them white girls who you think you can say I'm not afraid of you. And Lulu's like, let me talk to her. Let me talk to her, okay? Let me just deal with her. So Raquel walks over to the bar. So she walks over to the bar, and that's where she meet fine-looking Mr. Symphony. Ooh, Symphony. I think he said his name was Symphony Basket or something like that. I was like, okay. And so she meets him, and she's talking, and he's saying how he's going to school, get his master's and all this stuff, and urban this. She said, well, I'm urban. She said, so she kind of started flirting back and forth with him. Somehow that ended up with a date, I guess, because they end up going out later. But Unique, Raquel meets up with Unique, and he's like the biggest drug dealer on the South Side, they said. And he rides in his bulletproof car. And so Raquel works out this deal with him regarding territory and which corners they have and all this stuff. Everything is squared. Everything is cool. They just negotiated. We all peace and harmony up in here. So, okay, so the family goes out to eat later that night, and they're having dinner. And they talking about Stuyvesant. Lulu says to Kanan, I heard about that school, that high school and all that stuff. That sounds like some good stuff. And you got this and got that. And so Marvin is like, yo, so how come they didn't ask you jukebox to go? So she said they did. He said, why you didn't do it? She said, because you said them white people ain't gonna never let me do anything. Blah, blah, blah. And they said, that sound like some shit I was saying. They all started laughing. They was like, yeah. So he was like, kid, why don't you take it now? It's too late. I done aged out. Some of them fathers, son, they funny. He didn't probably even look into it. You could see his personality. He didn't even look into it. So then what's his name? Famous shows up with some female, and Marvin made some kind of comment about a working girl, and she said, of course you would know what type. You look like the type that would know about a working girl. I said, oh snap. They said she ain't been here 5 minutes. She already out of your league. That's what Raquel said. So they sat down. There's a seat right there. Famous is so rude. He sat down in their chair and looked back at his sister like, where you sitting? So she ended up sitting over there by Lulu, and Lulu was eyeballing her and stuff the whole night. And when they left out of there, Famous saw how Lulu was looking at his sister. I said, well, that's what your ass get, because you didn't give her a seat. You just sat there and didn't even care about your sister. I was like, what kind of rudeness is that? So anyway, he said, yo, I don't want your uncle talking to my sister. She can't with that life. They said, look, I said, you've been trying to get in to be a part of our family for so long. She said, you might as well, this might be your end. This might be your way in. You weren't wanting to be a part of us for that, Anyway, all of that went down. Next thing you know, Lulu's talking to the girl. Somebody come, Marvin says, drop, or something like that. Get down. And they all got down. They was shooting bullets, but they were shooting them up in the air. So that was like some warning shots, I guess, warning shots. So the next day, Famous and them are at the bus stop. Famous is talking about, Kanan taking that test, and he said, shit, I wouldn't be up there. I ain't gonna be in no school with a bunch of white crackers. I'd fail that test. I would fail that test in a heartbeat. And I was like, dang, he put it right in his head. Nobody, remember, people, sometimes people don't want to see you move up ahead of them. And they will say things to put doubt in your mind and stuff. And you have to realize it. You have to pray on that stuff and make sure that's God's plan. So anyway, of course, Kanan goes to that test, and what does he do? He started writing A. He filling in B. It looked like B, C, and then he went and just did B all the way down. He looked around and saw them white people in there, and I'm telling you, till today, that's how Stuyvesant is. You doing something getting into that school. So he put B all the way down and got up. It's a 3-hour test. He got up in less than 3 minutes probably. So he goes, it was just ridiculous. He gives them the paper and he walks out. So when he gets back to the block, he sees boys, and he's telling, and one of them tell him, I think it was D Wiz telling him that Buck 20 is selling on his mom's corner. So Caden's like, what? That's disrespectful. That's rude. No, we gonna handle this. We gonna handle this. Instead of telling his moms or confronting his uncles or somebody, he won't be tough and handle it. Like he know what's going on. You don't know a damn thing that's happening, boy, but he in it. So he goes and him and D Wiz, I think brother had gotten out of jail, so I think that's where they got the guns from or something like that. And they got some guns, and they went up there in broad daylight, and then just thought there was 3 dudes standing up there, and the guy said, "What you doing here, Kanan?" And Kanan pulled out the gun, and they all started running, and they started shooting. Him and D Wiz was shooting broad daylight, people running everywhere. It just didn't make any sense to me. And so they hit the one. And then he was trying to talk, and he was trying to crawl away, and then he turned over on his back, and he's trying to say something. And Kanan's crazy, stupid butt went over there. I don't know. I would have been wanting to run. He over there and got close and let the guy's blood get on him. He pulled him closer, like he was trying to talk to him. And this is his girl now. This is Davina's boyfriend. This the girl you crazy about, and that's her boyfriend. I'm like, wow. You just was not thinking. You didn't think this through, did you, Kanan? So anyway, they yell 5-0 coming, 5-0. Then he gets up and run. They said, "Come on, Kanan, come on!" But everybody knows he did it because them other 2 boys went there. Everybody was out in the street, so it's known that he did it. So what else happened after that? Before that he went over there, both of them are standing there yelling, "Who shot him? Was it me? Was it you?" I'm sitting there going, "What difference does it make? Run! Like this. So him and D was trying to figure out who shot the boy. Anyway, then they showed Raquel is out to dinner with Symphony, and they having a nice time, and he's telling her about what he learned about housing and urban development and stuff. And I was like, shoot, I was trying to listen in to hear what I could hear and learn something. Anyway, Lulu comes in, and he just bends down to her ear and says, "Kanan." And she gets up and says, "Excuse me, I gotta go." And she rushes out, pays for the dinner. And but he said, "Hey, wait a minute, I asked you out." And it was just too late. It was too late, and she paid for meal. And I said, "Hey, she balling like that." But some men get insulted by stuff like that. If I invite you out to eat, I will pay. I am a gentleman, because they did talk about when they would talk about meeting up. She said, "I'm in a different type of business." He said, "If it ain't a problem with you, it ain't a problem with me." And she was like, "Okay, So anyway, what happened? Then they showed Jukebox meeting up with her white girlfriend friend who attends it seems like some type of private school or Montessori Catholic school or something, I don't know, but because they got the little uniforms and stuff, and it looks like it's high class, rich people coming out, because everybody coming out was white. So they go, she introduced them to the friend. "Oh, this is Laverne, who I met, and da 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 da." Okay, and they're looking at her like, "Okay, we're gonna do a duet together for my cotillion or whatever." Not a cotillion, but it was something else. Anyway, so they go to a private place, and they're sitting there, and they're looking at each other and talking, and they start holding hands. And the white girl leans in to kiss Jukebox, and Jukebox moves back. She moves back and doesn't accept it. And the girl said, "I get it. I get it." I would be interested in seeing how that relationship started. I would really be, and I hope they show that, because I'm curious about that. And ain't nothing wrong with it either. But it's curious how she met up with this rich white girl. Where was it really at that audition for singing, like she said? I was just curious. Then they show the white lady who was having sex. She was she looked like she liked black men. She had this black guy, and they swinging, he's swinging her around, and they having sex, and they getting in. She's like, "What is that smell? What's that shit I smell?" She's like sniffing. He said, "Yo, you just gonna stop like that?" She said, "What the fuck is that smell?" And she's like, Bella, did you poopy? Did you poopy, Bella?" I was dying. I was like, "Did Bella poopy?" And she get into that. She looking around her house, and she see the microwave is on, and she stops it and open it, and her dog is in there. That is so disgusting. Woo, Jesus. They microwaved her Bella. So we know Raquel has something to do with that, and she ain't one to mess with, because who was it? Lulu came to her. Was it Lulu? No, it was the other guy who was in the hospital came to her with the collar that said Bella on it. So they took Bella's collar because they didn't want it to go snap, crackle, pop in the microwave. So I said, "Oh, how come that dog wasn't barking? All the damn barking that dogs do. How come that dog wasn't barking when they were trying to put her in the microwave? Unless they had killed the dog already before they got to that part." Anyway, what's the last couple of things that happened? So Kanan, we find out that Kanan has caused a damn mess because he didn't realize that his moms had given the corner to these people, and she told him she had squashed things. Everything was squashed, and now you don't know things. You think you know stuff, but you don't know stuff. And she said, Marvin asked his jukebox, and where was you when all this shit was going on? And she said, I was at choir practice, which she was not. She was with the little white girl. And she said, well, he said, you could have sent a live, it was a lot of arguing and back and forth and stuff, and everybody was getting in on him and each other, and the brothers were saying something about the way she was raising Kanan. It was a whole lot going on. And he said, she told him to go to his room. He said, no, I don't think I'm old enough to make that decision. You could have sent me to live with grandma, but you didn't. And you know why you didn't? Because you wanted me here. I'm here because you want me here. So she was like, boy, if you don't go to your room. And then she said, who blood is that? Is that your blood? No, the brothers are like, damn, I can get his blood on you. You're going to have to burn that damn shirt. You got to get rid of it and burn it. So they had to burn the shirt that had Buck 20's blood on it. So later that night, he come out there, try to talk to her. She said, no, it's too soon. Don't say shit to me. Don't say nothing. She sent him out, go take that trash out. And as he take the trash out, he is met with a car came down, and it was a drive-by. They were shooting, and he jumped down and stuff. And Raquel comes out, and she starts shooting, pop, 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 when the car turns the corner. So because all this drama is going on, of course, the police are called, and detective, what's his name? I don't know if he's a detective. I said detective, but what is Malcolm Howard or something like that? And that's played by Omar Epps. Boy, that boy put on weight. I hope he put it on for this show and not just he gained all that weight, because Omar Epps was kind of slim. But he looked all heavy in the face and everywhere. I don't know. Anywho, Omar, shame on you. She tells him that they hit the wrong house. He said, look, they got something on their back. Basically, the boys are wanted. The boys are wanted. Everybody's going to be looking for them. You better watch yourself. My son didn't have nothing to do with it. He said, you keep telling that story if you want. He said, but he said, I see the baby boy balls done dropped. I said, oh, that was the first thing he said when he got out the car. Baby, meaning he got his balls. He done grown up now. He got balls. I said, oh, shoot. So she tried to pay off Unique after all this went down, but that deal was dead. Now he wants all of the corners. He's pissed because, remember, Buck 20 was part of his crew. He said, I could do all I could do on my part. He said, but Buck knew a lot of people, and he got a lot of people want to get back at you. Get back at your son. He did it. She said, he not in the game. He said, boy, he was in the game when he started. Before he knew he was in the game, he was in the game when he was born, basically. He told her. He said, so I don't know what to say about it. She said, you get weak when you start thinking little distractions and stuff like this. She said, don't try to act like you love your son. He said, that's why women shouldn't be doing this, She said, don't try to act like you love your son any less than I love my own. He said, yeah, but that's different. He said, y'all connected in a different way, in a way that I'm not connected to my son. He said, I didn't give birth. You gave birth to him. He was inside of you for months and stuff. So, I was like, wow, that was deep, because he was right about that. That is a totally different connection. So anyway, Rock wakes up Kanan, and they go out for a ride, and he thought he was going to his grandma's house, but she teaches him about the constellations and Orion and how it means what it means. And she tells him to take a shoot to squeeze one off. And he squeezed one off, and she said, okay, you in it now. You wanted to be in it? You in it now. And he squeezed it off, and that was it. She said, it's out in the air, and it's circulating. She said, and you're going to be chasing it or running from it all your life, or something like that, she said. So that was pretty deep. So I really like that episode. Sorry that I'm behind, like I said, in reviewing it, but I wasn't sure if I was going to do it or not. And enough people said to do it. So I did it. Sometime this week, you'll get episode 2. So I hope y'all enjoyed this recap. This is your girl, Barbie J, saying peace.